I got a comment in response to the video I just put up called Three Keys to Manifesting Your Heart's Vision. And I'm going to read the comment to you from Super Raw Love. Super Raw Love, I thank you for this question and comment. So it says, what if you just focus on one thing and offend the people around you by saying no to their invitations, for instance? How can you find balance? So what if you just focus on one thing and offend the people around you just by saying no to their invitations? How do you find the balance? So I really want to speak to this because I get a lot of comments in that arena. I also have had this topic come up a lot lately with my clients, and it's definitely it's a territory I've had to trek in my own journey, and I continue to. So I'll just speak from personal experience. I have lived most of my life as a people pleaser. That's like, you know, not the most wonderful, I'm not, what's the word? I'm just not that proud of, let me try that again. Okay, never mind. I'll just keep going. So stupid. Why edit? Okay, but basically, the whole people pleasing thing, I'm not so proud of, but I spent much of my life that way because it was safe. It was really safe to play nice. And the truth is, my life force was continuously being squashed because I was answering to everyone else's needs around me. And I was like, resentful underneath. I was angry, yet I was so sweet all the time. And then I'd find myself like boiling with anger. And I was like, why am I feeling this way? For years and years and years. And then, as you guys know, it took me just leaving, going to the woods for 18 months and just really letting it all out. I had been on the journey for a long time, but I had hit like an abyss. Like I had hit like a really, it's like I was at the tip of the iceberg through my whole spiritual and inner work journey. And then once I moved to the woods, I just allowed myself to really drop down to the whole freaking iceberg and just go, wow, that's what is really going on beneath the surface of my smile and blah, blah, blah. So it was really empowering to get to the root of where my anger and resentment and frustration was coming from. And it's a human thing. We want to please each other because we want others to know that we love them. But the truth is, there are two kinds of love. There's real love and there's conditional love. Conditional love is, I will love you if you do this, 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 and this. You don't really have to do that, but I'd really like you to do that. And if you do all those things, then I'll totally be at peace with you and love you and do everything you want for you. So if we just do everything for each other, then we're going to be okay. But the thing is, then we're missing a major key here. We're missing not only the connection to ourselves, but we're missing the core need that we all have. And that's to receive our own loving. That's to claim our true lives, to claim our most powerful expression, full expression of who we are. And until we allow that to take place in our lives, there's just always that feeling of kind of being lost or floating. I noticed, like in the woods, I gave it all up. And this is just my journey. I'm not saying this is everyone's journey, but I really resonated with the question. And I think I know many people resonate because I get the question a lot and I have this experience a lot in my life. So along my journey in the woods, I let it all go. I mean, I let go of my 6-year partnership, our home, community, everything in my life. I don't need to get into that story again, but it was a big letting go in order to find out who I was. And what I realized in the woods was like, I don't even know who I really am because there is no knowing of who I am. It's just I am. I don't know what to say beyond that, other than that's just a place I reached. And so, with that, from that place of utter devotion to just being in the present moment and really opening up to noticing the things, my teacher Leonard Jacobson has really helped me with this, to notice the things that pull me out of presence. We're going to be working on this actually in the course, in the webinar that I'm offering in a few weeks. And it's really about being present, flourishing in the present moment, but noticing like what pulls us out of presence, what are the things that pull us away? What are the thoughts? How do we get lost in people, relationships, conditions. And ultimately, that is one of the biggest ones, is this sense of like, well, that person really needs me, or that person's not going to think I love them. I'm going to share something really personal right now, and it's a perfect example of true love. I have a dear friend. She's my sister. I've known her since I was 12 years old, and she's getting married. This weekend is her, not this weekend, next weekend is her bridal shower, and I had been planning on going. And I not only was going, but I was a big part of it. I was going to be teaching, a yoga class, and, just offering a lot to the collective energy field there. And honestly, I've had to really change my own life and step it up to the next level. And in order to do that, I've had to cut away a lot of things, a lot of things. I don't know if you guys have noticed in the last few months, but I was looking pretty depleted there for a while. I was just really getting buried in the city chaos and the rhythm here. And I know who I am, I know what I choose, and it's not the pattern I fell into. So I had to make a radical shift. I had to make a radical cutting of no, 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 no. It was beautiful to get back into that old pattern and realize, V, no, this is not self-nurturing, and there's no reason for this. It's, the habit of the world doesn't make it right just because everyone's doing it. So I cut away a lot of things, and one of the things I had to say no to, because of my webinar and because of my own taking my life to that next level, and because of my own self-nurturing, just really needing to stay put versus traveling right now, it was the hardest thing I had to do, but I had to call her, and I waited a week. I was just dreading it, and for whatever reason, I was really afraid about how she would respond. And I called her and just told her my situation. She was just like, babe, don't ever question our friendship. You need to take care of yourself first. We're going to celebrate, so we're going to have our own celebration when it really is aligned for me and her. And that's friendship. It's not like, oh my God, this is my huge day, and how can you not be there? That's the old paradigm, in my world anyway. I choose in my life friendship where I would never in a million years want somebody to do something for me out of obligation or pity. I mean, that's just the idea of that. I'm like, it makes me sick, to be honest. So I was just talking to a client about this. She's having this experience with her mother, and those are bigger nuts to crack. How do you say no to your parents who are in need, who have healthcare issues, who are really depending on you, but they're so negative and draining and exhausting that you can't live your own life when you're near them? So there are some major choices that we make, and really it comes down to, do you choose living your full life truthfully, honoring yourself, and declaring that those around you respect you and that you respect them and their truth? Then it means risking letting go of a lot of people, a lot of old ways. It's a radical shift. I'm not saying it's easy, but I can tell you it is extraordinarily rewarding, because no longer is there this resentment and annoyance with people, because it's not really being annoyed at somebody else for expecting something of you. It's being annoyed at yourself for giving yourself up for something you don't want to do, something that's not true, something that's not aligned. And so that's called codependence. When we do something so that somebody else will approve of us, that's codependence. But when we do something because we genuinely want to, and because we want to see that person happy, or we want to see that person, or whatever, that's a different story. So to answer your question, that's a really long-winded way of saying, you may have to risk losing that person or the party invitations in the future, or whatever. It's getting clear on your priorities. So, there's two ways of living, like flourishing or just kind of fitting in. And most of the world is fitting in and living in a sort of mediocre, like a status quo is a better way of putting it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a choice. You have a choice. You can choose that kind of life, or you can connect with that place inside, that hero within, or that champion inside that really wants to express itself through your life. So that's a long-winded way of saying, look, follow your heart. And if people don't celebrate that about you, to be honest, the truth is, when you make radical choices, no matter how scared you are, it's literally all the judgments will come up when you make the choice. Believe me, the judgments come up around, oh my God, I'm such a horrible person. Oh my God, I mean, I'm terrible. That person's going to tell that person, and then they're going to start talking badly about me, and then everyone's going to think I'm an awful person. And you know what? They just might. But when you know who you are, it doesn't matter. Because only the people who truly care, like my friend with her bridal shower, it's irrelevant to her. She wants me happy, she's happy, and we get to celebrate, and whenever we choose to celebrate, it'll be beautiful. And that's one example of all my relationships. My partnership with Jason is that way. My relationships with my family and friends. I mean, I didn't used to live that way. People please to the extreme. And I have to say, it is so liberating to finally go, you know what? So long as I am true to myself, so long as I honor my deepest needs and let go of that distraction of the good girl or the good guy or the one who, the should or the shouldn'ts, drop the shoulds for good. It's just such a heavy weight to carry. And if you notice you're depleted in your life, ask yourself the question, is there somebody in your life that is draining your energy, that you do things for because you feel like you have to? Just something to consider. Notice, and then that's your answer. Do you choose to live a thriving life or a depleted life? It takes courage to thrive when most people are, just trying to get by. But the truth is, when you're thriving, you have a lot more to give. A lot more to give.